Good evening, my friends. We are live. This is Live Free or Die, and I'm your host, Eli King. This is alternative news media. Basically, we will be bringing you the truth, what the mainstream media should be bringing you. This is what the mainstream media should be reporting on the nightly news every night. But all right, let's just get started with news. Confirmed, Navy Yard shooter was on drugs. Yes, he was on antidepressant trazodone, drug linked to previous mass shootings, despite Washington Post declaring it safe. This is from Paul Joseph Watson at Infowars.com. It has been confirmed that Navy Yard gunman Aaron Alexis was on the antidepressant drug trazodone, providing yet another example of a connection between psychiatric drugs and mass shootings. Yes, there is a connection between psychiatric drugs and mass shootings, if you don't know, between the serotonin reuptake inhibitors, the Xanax, and the brain bogglers, whatever you want to call them. People who take these drugs have a tendency to go out and be violent, and sometimes will get a gun and shoot people down. It's not like these guns wake up in the middle of the night like a Fantasia movie and start popping off. No, it doesn't work that way. It takes a psychopathic maniac on these serotonin reuptake inhibitors to go crazy and grab a gun and kill people. Like this guy, 8 people were killed, one wounded during a mass shooting at a beauty parlor in Seal Beach, California in 2011. The killer, Scott Evan Drake, was on trazodone, a commercial variant of it, basically. Also in 2009, Peter Goodrich Jr. beat his mother, then shot his father dead shortly after being injected with trazodone in a psychiatric hospital. Goodrich has complained or had complained that he didn't want to take the medication because it made him feel violent. Also in 2009, Stephen Foster shot a gas station attendant in the head before shooting him a second time. Bottles of trazodone pills were later found in Foster's room. Also, Marine Corporal Delino Holmes fatally stabbed an Iraqi soldier to death in 2007 after the military doctors prescribed him trazodone. There were tons of these cases. And the Navy Yard shooter, like I said, was on drugs. So instead of blaming the drugs, the main scumbag media, the so-called real media, will go and blame the AR-15 that wasn't even used. The guy used 2 handguns and a shotgun, but they're going to go and blame the AR-15, And, it's ridiculous, I tell you. And then when I'm hearing that this Navy Yard was sort of a gun-free zone, this always happens in places where guns are not allowed. You're not going to see an active shooter or an armed perpetrator walk up into the 13th precinct and start popping off shots. No, it's not going to happen. You walk into the 34th precinct and start popping off shots. 99% of the people are armed. You will get gunned down. So people do not go where there are guns. Anyway, next story by Paul Joseph Watson as well. SWAT team told to stand down during Navy shooting, stonewalled by authorities. Yes, members of Washington's SWAT team were told to stand down during the Navy Yard shooting, have been stonewalled by the authorities, while the leader of the elite unit has been replaced. So, yeah, you get the SWAT team who happens to be there at the Navy Yard shooting. Security guy comes over, says, "Hey, help, help." SWAT team radios into the supervisor. Supervisor says, "Leave the scene. Leave the scene." And, the media is covering this up. They demote the head guy of that SWAT team. They're replacing members of the SWAT team. These guys are the best of the best. They're the expert marksmen. These are the guys you want when stuff like this goes down. These are the first guys you want there, and they were there. And I'm hearing stories that their radios weren't working, all sorts of stuff going on now. I mean, and right after Obama made a speech about basically wanting him to abolish the Second Amendment, it seems like another false flag shooting to me, my friends. All right, next story. Anthony Gucciardi, journalism professor, hopes for death of NRA members' children after Navy Yard shooting. Yes, David Guth, this scumbag, tweeted, Navy Yard shooting The blood is on the hands of the NRA. Next time, let it be your sons and daughters. Shame on you. May God damn you. This guy is the spawn of Satan himself, maybe, to wish this on anybody's children. You bring yourself to a level where basically you should be shot in the head. I said it. This guy's a total dirtbag. I wouldn't wish anything like that on even my worst enemy's children. Children are innocent, okay? Anyway, go to Twitter and it's at DW Guth, Gueth, David Guth. Type in his name and you can tell him how you feel. I will do so later. This guy's a cowardly piece of trash. Not even a real journalist, scumbag, okay? He's co-opted by the government. We got all that Navy Yard false flag attack. They want to come and take our Second Amendment, come and take away our rights to protect ourselves. They already have done so here in New York City. I mean, what you got to do to get a gun here? Legally, I'm saying. All right, next article. FDA deliberately deceiving Americans over arsenic in rice and chicken and other foods. On to health news now. This is from Mike Adams, naturalnews.com. And basically he's saying the FDA has figured out that there's all sorts of arsenic in rice, especially brown rice, they say. But what they're not telling you is that there's also a lot of arsenic in chicken, as well as lead and cadmium, which are far more toxic than arsenic. I mean, you got to try to go organic. This is basically common sense. Arsenic is more toxic when you don't sweat as well. So it's good to get a nice workout, break a sweat every day, whatever you can do, aerobics, go run around the track, whatever makes you sweat, sit in a sauna. Sweating out these evil toxins are actually very helpful. This is why many people who don't sweat on a routine basis benefit greatly from infrared sauna treatments. There's a lot more arsenic in chicken than rice, yes. All right, yep. Next article, CDC now admits era of antibiotics at end as bacteria outwit drug companies. You are getting these super viruses, these super bugs. 23,000 Americans a year die because the antibiotics are resistant to the super bug. Is more, the super bug is dominant to these antibiotics, and I don't know. Whenever I get an illness, I stick to plain old penicillin. I try not to go out on these new super synthetic antibiotics that they try to give out. I mean, more and more people are going towards the natural herbal way, and you just got to treat your body right, do your best. I know it's hard out here, being that they're poisoning our water with the fluoride, hitting us every morning with the chemtrails. What's better than a cup of chemtrails in the morning? In your coffee, you're walking down the street, you got your cup of coffee, you look up in the sky, it's 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, and what do you see? You see like checkerboard chemtrails, lingering. These planes that emit these white cloud trails in the sky. And the real chemtrails will disappear like in about 30 seconds. But the chemical poisons that they spray on us actually stay up there for like a half hour. And they spread out, and they look like they turn into like these big clouds. And they pour all over you, I tell you. It's just poison. It's out of control. They're hitting us from all sides, I tell you. All right. Anybody want to give me a call? The number is 212-245-7273. We are live. It is September 21st. The number again is 212-245-7273. And for those of you people who are dialing from a landline, who are not really used to it, try dialing 1 before the 212. Because I get this a lot. I work in a place and people actually use the phone, and it's a landline. And they would just dial 212 without dialing the 1, thinking they're using a cell phone. People are just They're losing it. They don't even know how to use the damn landline anymore. All right. Well, apparently we have a person who does know how to use the phone, hopefully. So let's go to the call. All right, caller, you are on the air.
Hey, how you doing, puppy? Everything's good. I was just thinking about the citizens in the city getting robbed by these hoodlums, and the government seems not to care about it, not even doing nothing. I feel bad about them, man. These old people, 78, 75, getting raped, getting robbed for a damn chain. That don't make you a thug, man. That don't make you a big person in the street. That's cowardly does that, you know what I'm saying?
No, absolutely.
The way they're treating the old timers in the street.
This is why we should. Well, I appreciate the call. Caller made a point. Great point. These guys are out there. Our women are out there being attacked, being raped by these mobs and these evil devil worshippers. And here in New York City, like I said, you can't even protect yourself with a firearm. How disgusting is that? This is our Second Amendment, the right to bear arms, okay? The right to bear arms is being stripped away daily through fear propaganda being pushed by the mainstream media. Oh, guns are bad. Guns are evil. Guns will kill you by themselves. Even Eric Holder, the Attorney General, that scumbag, says we need to brainwash people into believing that guns are bad. Brainwash people. Anyway, let's go to this phone call and see what the caller has on its mind. Caller, you are on the air.
Oh, hello?
Hello, caller.
Oh, yes. Did you investigate about October 1st FEMA 3 region deadline? That's supposed to be happening by next week or something?
I looked into it a little. A lot of MREs, a lot of body bags and stuff.
They're like getting all the equipment ready and all that stuff, man. Like, all the stuff has to be in place.
Yeah, what have you found out, brother?
Well, I found this out by last week after when a guy gave me a rude awakening, you know, like I told you from like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I actually received an email that they're doing the same thing in Puerto Rico. A lady works in a hospital. The lady works in the hospital, and she emailed her husband that she's scared because they put in an order for all these body bags and caskets and all sorts of, I guess they're expecting a mass casualty.
Like FEMA camps, like those, you mean those FEMA coffins and stuff?
Yes, exactly. The FEMA coffins.
From Halliburton. From Halliburton. Halliburton make those coffins and all that.
Really?
Yep, that's right.
Oh, boy.
There was a company that distribute them and all that.
So October 1st, this is supposed to go down, supposedly?
Yes. Yeah, that's what I heard, on YouTube and all the clips and all that people are talking about this, trying to get this out there and all that. And I had to find it myself, and sure enough, this guy wasn't BSing, Like, they're really trying to get this thing ready.
That is very interesting.
And I think for September 27th, they say some type of drill or exercise supposed to be taking place.
September 27th. Well,
yeah,
I'll have to look into that.
Yeah.
It appears we have another call.
You know that movie Metallica, Now or Never? You know that movie?
No, I've never seen it.
Oh, yeah, they show a clip on it, and they say, like, if you could survive before September 27th. And I think that's like a decoded message, because I saw a clip like a civil unrest and all that.
Well, we'll have to look into that. We have another call, Steve. I appreciate the call. Call back after this caller. Caller, you are on the air. What's on your mind?
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, I just wanted to tell you that you look like you got a...
I appreciate the call. What can you say? I know I look good. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right. Matt Drudge and Alex Jones, 17-year-old bloggers. Senators Feinstein and Chucky Schumer are preparing to wage war on the alternative media. Matt Drudge was on the spot last week when he called Senator Dianne Feinstein a fascist after she had the gall to define who is and who is not a journalist. Here's Matt's tweet. Comments from Senator Feinstein yesterday on who's a reporter were disgusting. 17-year-old blogger is as important as Wolf Blitzer, you fascist. Dianne Feinstein is a fascist communist, Marxist, Nazi pig, all combined in one. Who are Chucky Schumer and Dianne Feinstein? Chucky Schumer, I'll give you a smack, you coward, you piece of garbage, you dirtbag. Gonna tell me I'm not media? You know why I'm doing media now? Because the mainstream media is full of crap. You cannot believe it. It's full of bull. Okay, and let's go to this phone call, see what he thinks about the media. Caller, you're on the air. I appreciate the call. All right, callers, you got to be quick on this show because you will hear the click. All right, like I was saying, let's go to the call again. Caller, you're on the air. Caller.
That's the reason why everybody needs to carry an arm in New York City. If something goes down, you need to protect your family. That's why people need to remember. Don't give whatever you have home because something happens and we go to war. What are you going to have to defend yourself from intruders going to your house, robbing your poor, doing whatever you want? Those are those small zombies that are going to be running around the city on all the public.
All right, speaking to the phone, caller. All right, well, I heard a little bit of what he was saying, and he was making some great points. He was saying basically, this is why we need to be armed, because if we go to war, God forbid, let's say if Korea or I think China may invade, they will throw thousands of paratroopers upon New York City. What the hell are we going to do? You think 35,000 NYPD officers are going to protect us? No. Against these... maybe they'll dump 100,000 Chinese paratroopers on us with AK-47s, whatever assault rifles they use. This is why we need to be armed. This is why we have the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms to protect ourselves from foreign invaders and to protect ourselves from criminals. It is our natural, God-given U.S. constitutional right. And, senators like Chucky Schumer and Dianne Feinstein want to take that away too. They want to determine who is a reporter, who has a right to the First Amendment. These people are just such pieces of garbage to come around and tell, all right, you're a reporter and you're not a reporter. So CNN can do reporting, but you can't write your little blog or you can't do your little show on public access. You're not a reporter. And if you get any secret emails from a whistleblower from the NSA, basically we can burn you with hot cigarettes and torture you and cut off your genitals and rape your children in a room in front of you like they do in Iraq and Abu Ghraib because you're not protected under the First Amendment. You're not a reporter. This is what they do. This is why we have a Fifth Amendment, the right to remain silent. And they're taking that away from us too. They're now moving to torture with the Patriot Act and the National Defense Authorization Act. Obama says now he can torture you and kill you and throw you away and without a lawyer, without a trial, because of this act. So I mean, come on, people. We need to stand up, vote third party, and keep up the good fight. Anyway, let's go to this next article. It's actually a video. This video actually shows Syrian rebels firing chemical weapons. This is from RT News, and the footage coincided with the August 21st attack. A new video purportedly shows jihadist rebels in Syria firing chemical weapons just hours after the August 21st attack on the Damascus suburb of Ghouta, an incident which stoked global condemnation and was blamed on Bashar al-Assad's forces. All right, let's go to the clip so you can see what I'm talking about.
Well, meanwhile, a prominent Syria blogger has posted footage allegedly showing chemical weapons being used by radical rebels. Let's get the details now from our correspondent Paul Scott here live in the studio. Paul, what do we know about this footage?
Well, the videos have appeared on the website of a prominent blogger who goes by the name of Brown Moses. Now, he's been focusing on the Syrian conflict for the last couple of years, analysing claims and counterclaims that have been emerging from the 2-year civil war. Now, he's been sent a link to 3 videos which apparently show a chemical weapons attack being carried out by opposition forces. The videos apparently were found on the mobile phone of a terrorist who was killed recently on the Kurdish border, and you can see in the footage now that the people carrying out the alleged attack are wearing gas masks, they're firing shells and rockets, and their weapons are draped in extremist paraphernalia. Now, the videos were dated August the 21st, which is of course the same date of the chemical weapons attack that recently featured in the UN report, the chemical weapons attack that led President Obama to say that a red line had been crossed. Now, Brian Moses on his blog has continually been trying to decipher really all the information coming out of this conflict, and his decision to publish these videos, which suggest it could well be opposition forces who are carrying out chemical weapons attack, and really open up the debate once more, as a sign, I suppose, that the information war is going to carry on as long as the ground war.
Well, it is interesting stuff, isn't it? I mean, what are the theories about where the rebels could have acquired these chemical weapons, if indeed this is correct?
Well, if it turns out to be true and that the opposition have indeed used these chemical weapons, then one theory is that the sarin came from Iraq via Turkey. Now, you'll remember in May there were reports coming out of the Turkish press suggesting that a 2-kilogram cylinder of sarin gas was discovered in the homes of Syrian opposition rebels connected with Al-Qaeda through the Al-Nusra Front. Now, at the time, Russia called for an investigation into those reports, but Turkey, Ankara, actually denied that the reports were true and said that no such weapons had been found. But former CIA analyst Michael Malouf explains that is indeed a possibility.
Had enough of that.
I have a report from a source who has direct.
That was Michael Malouf, the CIA analyst, and unbelievable. Anyway, if you want to watch the rest of that, you can go to Infowars.com, go to RT News. You can just look it up. Look up a video show, Syrian rebels firing chemical weapons. There you go. We are funding Al-Qaeda in Syria. You saw the black Al-Qaeda flags firing chemical weapons there. Whatever. In the next article here by Kit Daniels, Infowars, Obama, the Second Amendment only applies to Al-Qaeda. Yes. Basically, on the same day Obama basically drafted his executive order for more gun control was the same exact day that he actually waived the Arms Export Control Act, which basically prohibits the U.S. government from supplying firearms to terrorists such as Al-Qaeda. And the president declared Monday that he would waive the prohibitions in sections 40 and 40A of the AECA related to such transaction. No longer will Obama rely on the CIA to give free guns to Islamic extremists in Syria. Now he will make transfers openly with this transparent government initiative. So here you go. You got Mr. Obama taking away our right to bear arms, our right to have guns, but then he's going to basically give guns to Al-Qaeda directly in Syria. Ship them over crates of guns. Here you go. And who knows, we may have in the future plane loads of Al-Qaeda dropping on us, shooting at us. We won't be able to protect ourselves. We'll have to call 911 and rely on the police department to respond in about an hour and a half. And then by then we'll already be dead. And, so arm yourself, people. Arm yourself. Arm your mind. Arm yourself. This is all I got to say about that. All right, next article. 5 years after the financial crisis, the big banks are still committing massive crimes. Yes, the HSBC Bank, all these damn banks are drug dealers. They're drug launderers. They are just criminals, scum. Let's go to this call. Last call. Caller, you're on the air. Really quick. You got about a minute. Go ahead.
Okay, I just want to say thanks a lot. I like your show, and I just wanted to say that Obama also, a couple of months ago, signed a law saying that you can't sue Monsanto with the genetically modified organism crops. That's kind of like terrorism against the kind of foods that we should be eating to be healthy, instead of eating foods that are in lab rats. They test, they give those GMOs give the rats tumors. So he's doing domestic terrorism against us, and like you said, with Second Amendment. I'm not a constitutionalist because I'm Native American. So the Constitution didn't do anything for Native Americans or for blacks. There was still slavery and all that. But I like your show, and thank you very much.
I appreciate the call. Great point right there. Yes, they're attacking us through the foods, through Monsanto, this genetically modified corn that gives rats tumors the size of golf balls, and they're unable to reproduce. 3 generations down the line, these rats aren't able to have babies. So stay away from the GMO. Demand that they label our foods GMO-free, because that's all I want to eat. All right, we're moving fast here. Diana crash, CCTV operator footage rounded up and destroyed. Remember Princess Diana died some years ago? A Sunday Express investigation has revealed that film footage of Diana's last hours was kept secret. Basically, they had the footage and they took it all, just like they did with the 9/11, just like the CIA killed JFK. They killed Diana. Come on. Yeah, all right. Next article. Top climate scientists told to cover up the fact that Earth's temperature has risen for 15 years. Yes, scientists working on the most authoritative study on climate change were urged to cover up the fact that the world's temperature hasn't risen for the last 15 years, it has claimed. More leaked documents basically prove that the so-called global warming, Al Gore's inconvenient lie, which I call it, is basically not true. He said Manhattan was going to be underwater by the year 2012. It was slightly underwater with Hurricane Sandy, the 50-year storm. Now they say these hurricanes are going to come every year. We'll see. Hurricane season is here. We'll see if we get another Sandy. I don't think so. Like I said, that's like about a 50 or 100-year storm. Global warming is a hoax, people. All right. We're running out of time. Hit the bumper music. Last article. Outrage forces mayor to kill plan to fly Chinese flag at City Hall. The city of San Leonardo cannot mention Christmas, but considers wanted to celebrate communism. Yeah, the mayor of San Leonardo wants to fly the Chinese communist flag. You commie bastard. It's not going to happen, you scumbag. Anyway, we're out of time, people. Join me next week, every Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, MNN.org, Channel 67, Time 186, 36 RCN, I don't know. Go to MNN.org. God bless America. God save the Constitution. And if you have received this transmission, then you are the resistance.